You would have a hard time imagining how little stress you can have. Okay, so we're talking about why you want to meditate and what are the advantages of meditating. From the perspective of somebody who's done a 3-year meditation retreat and very much wants to help people get what I got in that retreat without having to go into a 3-year retreat, right? And we'll talk about how to do that. But before we talk about it, I'm going to sell you on why you want to do it in the first place. What are the advantages of being able to meditate? And we've talked about gaining the ability to control your mind, be able to focus on things you want to focus it on, be able to solve problems, to be able to have happier relationships, to have some sense of the future, right? Very important in lots of different ways. But then there's also this general peace of mind that you can get. And I want to be careful here, right? Because it's not just like, oh, I'm going to sit down and everything's peaceful. It's all peace. Or, oh, I'm going to be numb to the world. Or I'm going to shut my mind off and I'm not thinking anything anymore. Oh, that's peaceful. And that's not it. And it's not even like when you first start meditating, it's you can go through a lot of turmoil, right? So it's not that the peace is like a byproduct of your meditation, because what happens is that as your thinking gets clearer, the things you do start making more sense, right? You stop acting negatively and start acting more positively. Frankly, you'll end up being kinder. You'll end up being more productive. And you'll see problems before they happen. You'll prevent problems from ever occurring. You'll understand how to take care of them. And you end up with a more peaceful mind. And also, what's happening is that like you're seeing little mental afflictions, like anger and jealousy, and you're catching them quicker, end up much more peaceful. And then over time, like all of these effects build up, right? Like your work gets better. You're functioning better at work. And then you're functioning better at home. And so, I'm married for a second time. First time didn't work out so well, which is why there's a second time. But a big part of the success of my second marriage, it's not that I'm perfect, but I'm better because I've gotten better control of my mind. And it's really nice to be in a happy relationship, right? Like, again, I'm convinced that you get what you give, and when you learn how to meditate, when you learn how to direct your mind where you want to, you're better at giving, and it comes back to you, and you end up with a happier relationship. And it's really nice to be in a relationship where you're loved. Really nice, I mean, like genuinely loved. It's not that in this I've been together with my wife for 6.5 years. It's not that we haven't had problems. We've had problems. There have been major life events and world events and challenges, and it's easier to ride through them. I mean, not because there haven't been things that were challenging, but because you understand more effectively how to take care of them. We've got financial problems. Let's make sure that we're generous, right? We're not going to go backwards into something negative. Your life gets more peaceful gradually over time. It's really quite nice because I just ended up my flying career, which is part of the reason why I'm able to do this. This is something I've wanted to do since I left 3-year retreat 12 years ago. And because I knew, coming out, gosh, people have to understand what meditation is capable of. Like if they knew, everybody would be, or almost everybody would be meditating, right? Certainly, executives. I mean, almost everybody who's intelligent would be meditating if they understood the potential for it. But talking about a peaceful life specifically, you know, my wife and I, we faced this transition. She's gone back to work as a doctor, and I'm going to retire out of flying and start teaching full time. And it was peaceful for us, right? There wasn't like I was flying with guys. I knew I wasn't going to apply to another airline. We were in a position where I didn't need to go work at another major airline, and so I knew I was going to ride out Spirit to the end, and you could see people with a lot of drama, and we didn't know how it was going to work out for my wife and I. Ian and I didn't know, and we weren't sure. Will she be able to get a job? Will she not? Will it be a good job? Will we have to move? Will, are we going to be, separated from her family that's now in Chicago that needs us? There are all kinds of issues, like major life issues. And it wasn't that we weren't concerned about it, but we were at peace with it because we knew what we were doing, what we could to take care of it, because our minds are controlled. We didn't go through the drama, the ups and downs. And it was peaceful, right? We knew we were taking care of each other. We couldn't see exactly how it was going to turn out, but there wasn't stress. I mean, like for a situation where like major life changes are happening, we really, honestly, like it kept getting, the longer my wife and I are together, the more peaceful it's getting, And it's coming because you're controlling where your mind focuses and you don't let it focus on negative things. And then, she gets this great, fantastic job that's better than we could have ever imagined. And, and then things are working out, right? And that's, honestly, this is something I'm not going to go too much into, but I think everything originates with your mind. I think all of your experiences in the world are coming first as a result of what you think, and then when you meditate, you're developing the ability to control your mind, and then over time things get better. It's a process that takes years. It's not an instant. It's not like a 1 week fix. This isn't like a weekend retreat to greater peace, right? But if you do, it's powerful. It's really powerful. You can change your life. So definitely a greater peace. And you see it, people. You see it in other meditators. There's not going to be a whole lot of drama in their life. It's not that they don't have hard times. It's not that they're free from pain. It's that they handle their problems better and they don't create more pain as a result of them, which is huge, right? Because you see a lot of people that are creating more pain as a result of something, And it's not that I'm talking about ignoring your problems, or again, this isn't being numb. This is about understanding where problems come from in the first place and not creating any more, right? Not overreacting when you have a problem, or not taking action when you need to do something, right? Like you see people fall to either one of those extremes. It's like, oh, well, this wasn't right. Well, okay, that didn't help. or they're like, oh no, disaster's coming. I'm going to hide in my room. Well, okay, that didn't help either. And so the stress is about a realistic understanding of where you are. You don't overreact to the bad things. You don't underreact either. You make correct choices because your mind's thinking clearly. And then the cumulative effect of doing that over a period of years is that you have less stress. You're like, okay, well, is there something I can do about this? Yes. Okay, well then why worry? Is there something I can do about this? No. Okay, why worry? It's easy to say, right? That's one of those Instagram memes. But there's some kind of truth to it, right? There's a deep truth to it. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at all. I'm saying I'm better than what I was. And even just getting better, you can see you end up on this upward cycle, right? Where things get better. And then when things get better, it's easier to do good things, right? It's easier to take care of people in your life, even though it may be hard for you, right? But then the results pay off in the future. And, uh, and so that's what I'm talking about. It's not like if your life is a mess, right? You're not going to go on a weekend retreat and come out stress free, right? But we all have problems, and when you meditate, it helps you handle them better, and you'll get better, and your life gets better, and you'll have less stress. To the point where, ultimately, I think you would have a hard time imagining how little stress you can have. So that's why. That's why I'm here trying to convince you to meditate, is because it's dramatic, right?